Hello everybody, welcome back to the program. I'm the Loaded Satchel, and today I'll be reviewing Astralis. Now, as Commissar, your job is to investigate why a sudden depot has stopped production. And when you crash land there, you realize that there is an alien race called the Macropie that have taken over the depot area. And at that point, you go from objective to objective, clearing out all of the different aliens that are in the area, while finding any workers that survived the attack. Now, when you encounter a survivor, they give you their own little spiel of what happened during the attack. And depending on what the survivor says, you get to judge them. And what I mean by judging, I mean you either get to decide whether they die, go in prison, or they get set free. And with this choice system, it would seem like you would have multiple endings depending on the choices you picked with the different survivors. But there really is no difference no matter what. Like, literally, there's no difference at all. You get the same score, you get the same achievement for talking to all the different survivors that are throughout the game, and it really seems like they could use this to their advantage by adding more to it with the different choices you've made throughout. So then the rest of the game is just going from each objective marker to the next. And I was quite surprised that the game actually took around 50 minutes to an hour long to beat. And that may vary depending on the difficulty you choose. In addition, the gameplay is actually quite good. Better than most indie games that I've played on Xbox. And the controls are like your average third-person behind-the-shoulder shooter. And the graphics seem odd at first, but then you warm up to them. Also, there are many variations between the different aliens. Like, you have smaller, weaker enemies, then you slowly find stronger and bigger enemies to fight. And the game gives you 9 different weapons to use while fighting them. In addition, each weapon has their own feel to it. For example, the assault rifle you have in the game, you get plenty of ammo, the clip is large, but it's kind of weak against them. But the sniper rifle has a smaller clip, but is more accurate, and is most of the time a one-hit kill. So each weapon has their own variant, so you're not only sticking to the same 2 weapons over and over again. Also, if you run out of ammo, you still have a handy-dandy pistol on your side that never runs out of ammo. Now, the sound design of the game is really good. At some points it feels like the Macropie are right behind you, even though they're clearly in front of you, but you still kind of have that flinch reaction to look behind you, and at some points you get distracted from the radar, and one will sneak up behind you and startle you. The music is also quite enjoyable when in combat. When you're in combat, special music plays, nice action-packed, but when you're exploring or going from each objective, it's kind of low-key. Which brings me to my next subject, the landscaping. The overall time you're on the region, it's kind of boring. Everything's the same. All the same plants, the same hills. And you have to go by foot each time, and they all have a greater distance from each other. So most that hour-long gameplay is mainly just going from each point. As an overall rating, I give this game an 8.5 out of 10. A really fun shooter, and at a great low price of only $1. And this game is a hidden gem in the Xbox Live indie game marketplace. I honestly hope if the developers make another one, they take all the things I said into consideration and make a much more impacting shooter. And before I say my goodbyes, I would really appreciate it if you hit one of these subscribe buttons. It could really help me review more games. But until next time, I'll see you guys on the next review.